Ladies and gentlemen, imagine waking up every day with purpose, with a fire inside you, ready to face whatever the world throws at you. What if I told you that there are 7 things you could focus on every single day that would change your life forever? Would you take that challenge? Or would you let it slip by? What is it that separates the great from the good? The successful from the average? Is it talent? Luck? Or is it something deeper, something within your control? Today we're going to break it down. But here's the catch. These 7 things won't just help you achieve success. They'll transform the way you see the world, the way you see yourself. And trust me, once you start, you'll realize there's no going back. The best version of you is closer than you think, but only if you're willing to work for it. Let me take you back to a moment I want you to picture. It's early in the morning, dark outside, the world is still asleep. You're standing in front of the mirror, looking at yourself. It's easy to feel like this moment doesn't matter, just another day, right? But what if you realize this moment is the foundation of your future? The choices you make in these early hours can either push you toward greatness or keep you stuck. You get to decide. Every single day. Now, let's talk about the first thing you must work on every day, your mindset. The world is going to throw obstacles at you. There will be doubt. There will be failure, but what matters is how you respond. You need to train your mind to stay focused, stay positive, and most importantly, to never quit. You don't have control over everything that happens, but you always control how you react. That mindset, it's your shield. I want you to think about this for a second. Have you ever faced a challenge that seemed insurmountable? I'm sure you have. We all have. But what separates the winners is not the absence of obstacles. It's the strength of their resolve. It's the relentless belief that no matter how hard the road gets, they are going to keep moving forward. Second, your habits. You see, success isn't a one-time event. It's a process. It's the small daily habits that build up over time, creating momentum. Whether it's working out, reading, practicing your craft, whatever it is, you need to commit to it day in and day out. Your habits shape your future more than any momentary burst of motivation. Are you starting to see it now? These aren't just simple things you check off a list. They're the core ingredients of success, and if you commit to them, they'll change everything for you. This isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter, with intention, with purpose. Number 1, mindset. You want to be successful, right? Well, let me tell you, success begins in the mind. It begins in that space between your ears, where your thoughts and beliefs shape every decision you make. If you don't have control over your mind, you don't have control over your life. The world is going to test you, no one is exempt. But your ability to withstand those tests, your ability to rise after you've been knocked down, is what will define your future. Mindset is the foundation. It's not the shiny car or the fancy house that makes a successful person. It's how they think, how they see the world, how they handle the storms that life inevitably brings. You will fail. Let me say that again, you will fail. It's not a matter of if, but when. The difference between someone who rises and someone who stays down is how they respond in those moments. It's the strength of the mind that makes the difference. Think about the last time you faced a challenge that seemed impossible. Maybe it was a project at work, a personal setback, or even a dream you thought was out of reach. The question is, how did you handle it? Did you give up? Did you tell yourself that you weren't cut out for it? Or did you get up, dust yourself off, and keep pushing forward? Let me tell you, it's not about being perfect. It's about being resilient. It's about bouncing back after life hits you. And it will hit you, sometimes when you least expect it. But this is where your mindset comes in. The way you choose to respond is everything. I want you to think about someone who inspires you. Maybe it's a famous athlete, an entrepreneur, or someone in your life who's overcome a great deal. What do they all have in common? Resilience. They've been through the fire, they've faced rejection, they've been told they weren't good enough, yet they kept going. They kept pushing forward because they believed in themselves, even when the world didn't. And guess what? That belief comes from a strong, unshakable mindset. But how do you strengthen your mind? It starts with intention. You've got to train your mind the same way you train your body. It doesn't happen overnight, but it happens every single day with small decisions, small habits that add up. If you wake up every morning telling yourself that you're not good enough, your mind will believe it. But if you wake up and tell yourself that you have what it takes, that you will not be stopped, your mind will believe that too. The words you speak to yourself matter. And when failure comes because it will, you need to train your mind to see it differently. Don't look at failure as the end of the road. Look at it as a lesson. Look at it as feedback. Every failure is an opportunity to grow stronger, to learn, to refine your approach. The greats, the ones who have truly reached the highest levels of success, all failed, often more than you and I ever will. But they didn't let failure stop them. They used it as fuel, not as an excuse to quit. Take Michael Jordan, for example. He's widely considered one of the greatest basketball players of all time. But do you know how many times he was cut from his high school basketball team? Twice. That's right, twice. Can you imagine? The greatest player in the history of the game, rejected, told he wasn't good enough. Yet he didn't quit. He didn't let failure define him. He used it as motivation. Every rejection, every failure pushed him to work harder, to be better. And that's why he's Michael Jordan today. His mindset wasn't just about talent, it was about his ability to handle failure and keep moving forward. Or think about Thomas Edison, who failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. 1,000 times. If anyone had a reason to quit, it was him. But Edison didn't see failure the way most people do. He didn't see it as defeat. He saw each failure as a step toward success. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's mindset. That's strength. That's how you need to think. The most successful people don't just have talent, they have a mindset that refuses to quit, refuses to accept defeat, and sees every challenge as an opportunity. That's how you develop resilience. It's not something you're born with, it's something you build. Every time you face a challenge, every time you feel like quitting, you have an opportunity to strengthen your mind, to get mentally tougher, to prove to yourself that you can overcome. So, no matter where you are right now, no matter how tough things may seem, no matter how many obstacles you're facing, remember this: your mindset is the key to your success. It's the one thing that no one can take from you. It's in your hands, and it's yours to control. Work on it every day. Strengthen it. Cultivate resilience. And when life knocks you down, get back up and keep moving forward. Because how you handle failure today is what will define your success tomorrow. Number 2, discipline. It's a word that gets tossed around a lot. But do you really understand what it means? Do you really know what it takes to stay committed to your goals, to show up every single day, even when it's hard? See, there's this misconception that discipline is about being perfect, about having everything figured out, about never making mistakes. But that's not it. Discipline is about showing up when you don't feel like it. It's about making the right choices even when it would be so easy to take the easy road. Discipline is about being relentless no matter the circumstances. You see, we all have dreams, we all have goals. But those goals mean nothing if you don't have the discipline to pursue them day in and day out. You can't just wait for motivation to strike. Motivation comes and goes. But discipline is a decision. It's a choice you make every day to show up, to put in the work, even when the odds are stacked against you, even when you're tired, even when you feel like quitting. Let's be real for a second, life is tough. The road to success is long, and it's filled with obstacles. There will be days when you feel like nothing is going your way, when every step forward feels like 2 steps back. That's when discipline kicks in. That's when you dig deep and push yourself, even when everything in you is telling you to give up. You see, discipline is what separates the winners from the rest of the pack. It's what makes the difference between a dream that remains just that, a dream, and a dream that becomes a reality. Take Kobe Bryant, for example. The man was known not only for his incredible talent, but for his unmatched work ethic. It wasn't just about his natural ability on the basketball court. It was about his discipline. Every single day he showed up. Every day he put in the work. There were no shortcuts. Even when the practice sessions were grueling, when his body was exhausted, when the crowd wasn't cheering, Kobe was there, committed to being better than he was yesterday. He didn't rely on talent alone. He relied on discipline, on the daily grind, on the commitment to push through the discomfort, to work harder than anyone else. And that's why he's a legend. His discipline built his greatness. Then there's Serena Williams. You think she just woke up one day and became one of the greatest tennis players in history? No. It took years of consistent effort. She made countless sacrifices. The early mornings, the late nights, the missed celebrations, the time away from family and friends. And let me tell you, there were days when she didn't feel like putting in that work. But she did it anyway, every single day. Because she knew that discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's the thing that keeps you going when you don't feel like it. It's what pushes you to greatness. Here's the thing you have to understand, that success isn't just a series of big moments. It's a result of the small, everyday choices you make. It's those hours no one sees, those moments when you're alone, grinding away at your goals. It's easy to be disciplined when everything is going well, when the rewards are right there in front of you. But real discipline shows up when things get tough, when you're faced with obstacles, when the results don't come as quickly as you want them to. Real discipline means you keep going even when the finish line seems far out of reach. You want to build a business. You want to be a top athlete. You want to be a successful entrepreneur or a leader in your field. It doesn't happen because you have a good idea or because you're passionate for a short time. It happens because you stay committed. It happens because you get up early, stay up late, and you do it every single day. It's about building a routine and sticking to it, no matter how hard it gets. The most successful people in the world didn't get there by accident. They got there because they put in the work when no one was watching. They stayed committed when others gave up. They kept grinding when everyone else was resting. You think it's easy? No, but that's the price of success. That's what you have to be willing to pay if you want to achieve your dreams. Think about a time when you felt like giving up. I'm sure you've had those moments. We all have. But the question is, what did you do in that moment? Did you walk away or did you push through? Did you choose discipline over the temporary comfort of quitting? Because let me tell you something, the easy way out is always there. It will always be there. But the rewards come from doing the hard work, from staying committed when no one else believes in you, from showing up when you'd rather stay in bed. So here's the deal. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out, but you do need to be disciplined. You need to commit to the process, to the daily grind. And I promise you, it will pay off. The journey won't be easy. You'll hit bumps, you'll face rejection, you'll have days when you want to quit. But if you stay disciplined, if you keep putting one foot in front of the other, success will find you. Because discipline is what separates the dreamers from the doers. And you, my friend, are a doer. You're going to show up every day. You're going to do what needs to be done, even when it's hard. And that's how you build a legacy. Number 3, you've got to keep getting better. I don't care who you are, how talented you think you are, how much success you've already had. If you're not constantly working to improve, you're falling behind. Life doesn't wait for anyone. Time keeps ticking, the world keeps moving, and if you're not actively sharpening your skills every single day, someone else is working harder, studying more, getting better while you're sitting still. And when they pass you by, you'll be left wondering why you didn't take those extra steps to improve. Here's the thing, talent alone won't get you where you want to go. It's a starting point, sure, but talent only takes you so far. It's the work you put in, the hours spent perfecting your craft, that will carry you the distance. You can't just rest on your laurels and expect success to show up on your doorstep. No, success is earned every day through the sweat, the grind, the sacrifice. You've got to be willing to put in the work, day in and day out, to improve yourself. Every single day. Look at someone like Will Smith. The man is a powerhouse, not just as an actor, but as an entrepreneur, a producer, a creator. But did you know how much work he puts into his craft? Will didn't just wake up one day with the ability to headline blockbuster movies. He didn't just wake up with the skills to create, to inspire, to lead. He worked at it relentlessly. He talks about how early in his career, he didn't just want to be a good actor, he wanted to be one of the best. And to do that, he had to commit to improving every day. Will wasn't content with being average. He kept pushing himself, whether it was taking acting classes, learning from mentors, or working on his physical fitness. He knew that if he didn't keep improving his skills, someone else would come along and outshine him. Or take someone like Denzel Washington himself. This man didn't become a legend overnight. He worked tirelessly, day in and day out, to hone his craft. He didn't stop after his first few roles. He didn't take his success for granted. He was constantly looking for ways to improve his acting, to bring more depth to his characters, to become a better storyteller. Denzel didn't rest on his past achievements. He used them as stepping stones, always striving to take things to the next level. And that's why, years later, we're still talking about him. He didn't let his skills plateau. He kept building, kept improving, kept learning. You have to take the same approach in your life. Every day you have to work on your skills. It doesn't matter what field you're in, whether it's business, sports, art, technology, whatever it is, you have to keep learning, keep improving, keep challenging yourself. Don't get comfortable. Comfort is the enemy of progress. When you get comfortable, you stop growing. And when you stop growing, you start dying. You might not notice it at first, but slowly, bit by bit, you'll fall behind. I want you to think about the last time you really pushed yourself outside of your comfort zone. Maybe it was something at work, something personal. Maybe it was even trying a new skill you'd never done before. How did it feel? At first, it might have been uncomfortable, maybe even a little scary. But by the time you made it through, you were better, stronger, more confident. That's how growth happens. It's not easy. It's not always fun. But it's necessary if you want to get to the top. Now, let me tell you this, you have to develop a hunger for improvement. You can't wait for motivation to strike. You've got to be self-motivated day in and day out. Every day is an opportunity to improve, to push yourself to be just a little bit better than you were yesterday. Whether that means reading a book, learning something new, practicing your craft, or asking for feedback, don't waste a single day. You have to take full responsibility for your growth. Don't wait for someone else to teach you. Don't wait for someone to push you. You've got to push yourself. I'll tell you, when you're out there grinding, when you're putting in the work, you'll face setbacks. You'll feel frustrated, you'll feel tired, and you'll wonder if it's all worth it. But that's when you have to dig deep. That's when you have to remind yourself that every failure, every setback is just a part of the process. It's part of the learning. It's part of getting better. You can't let setbacks stop you. You have to let them fuel you. Look at Michael Jordan again. I mean, the man is a living legend. But let's not forget that he didn't make his high school basketball team. And even after he became a pro, even after all the success, he still worked at his game. He didn't just show up to play, he showed up to get better. He was always looking for ways to refine his skills, whether it was his footwork, his jump shot, his leadership on the court. He didn't say, I'm good enough now, because he understood that if he wanted to stay on top, he had to keep improving. And that's exactly what he did. You've got to adopt that mindset. Never stop improving. Never stop pushing yourself. Even when you think you've reached your peak, there's always room to grow. There's always more you can learn. If you're willing to put in the effort, if you're willing to stay hungry and stay humble, you will never plateau. You'll keep improving, keep getting better, and eventually you'll look back and realize that all that effort, all that grinding paid off in ways you could never have imagined. So today, don't wait. Don't wait for tomorrow to start getting better. Start right now. Start with one small thing you can do to improve your skills today. Maybe it's reading a chapter of a book, watching a tutorial, practicing a new technique. Whatever it is, take that step and then take another one tomorrow. Keep building. Keep growing. Because the only way to reach your highest potential is to keep improving every single day. And if you commit to that, if you make it a part of who you are, I promise you there's no limit to what you can achieve. Number 4, listen to me closely. If you want to build something great, if you want to achieve something big in this world, you've got to start by taking care of the most important thing you've got yourself, your health. Because without it, nothing else matters. You can have the best ideas, the most ambition, the biggest dreams, but if you don't have the energy, the strength, the mental clarity to pursue them, then those dreams will stay just that, dreams. You've got to take care of your body, and you've got to take care of your mind. That's where everything starts. Let me break it down for you. It's easy to think you can push through without paying attention to your health. We all have those days where we're tired, or we're running on fumes, or maybe we're trying to juggle a million things at once. But the truth is, you can't keep grinding if you're running on empty. Your body can only take so much. You've got to treat it like a fine-tuned machine. The way you eat, the way you move, the way you rest, they all play a part in your success. And don't tell me you don't have time. You've got to make time. Because what good is success if you can't enjoy it because you're sick, or burned out, or mentally exhausted? Look at someone like LeBron James. The man is a beast. At his age, most players would be winding down, thinking about life after basketball. But not LeBron. He's still dominating on the court. Why? Because he takes care of his body better than anyone. He invests in his physical health, and he takes his recovery seriously. He spends millions of dollars every year to make sure his body is in peak condition. And that's not just about lifting weights and hitting the gym. It's about recovery, about what he's putting into his body, about making sure his muscles and joints are taken care of. It's about his diet, his sleep, his mental focus. And that's why he's still one of the best in the world year after year. Because he understands that if you don't take care of yourself, nothing else works. But let's not forget the mental side of it. Your mind is just as important, if not more, than your body. You've got to take care of your mental health. This world is tough, and it's easy to get caught up in the grind. to get lost in the chaos, to let the stress build up and drag you down. But that's when your mental health becomes crucial. You've got to guard your peace. You've got to learn how to manage stress, how to take breaks, how to recharge. Because if you're mentally exhausted, everything else will start to fall apart. You can't perform at your best. You can't think clearly. And you certainly can't show up in your relationships or your career the way you need to. Take someone like Will Smith, who's known for his energy, his charisma, and his work ethic. But you know what else he's known for? His focus on mental health. Will has talked openly about his struggles with anxiety, the pressure of constantly being in the public eye, the weight of expectations. But instead of letting that break him, he's taken steps to improve his mental well-being. He meditates, he practices mindfulness, and he's never afraid to talk about the importance of mental health. He understands that if he's not mentally strong, he can't keep pushing forward. So he invests in himself. He makes his mental health a priority. And that's why he can keep showing up day in and day out, performing at a high level. It's the same for you. You have to make time to recharge. You can't just go without stopping to take care of your mind. And that's why you've got to get real with yourself about your habits. Are you getting enough sleep? Are you eating the right foods? Are you taking time to breathe, to relax, to give yourself space to just be? Your health isn't just about pushing through the tough times. It's about preventing burnout in the first place. It's about giving yourself the energy you need to do everything you want to do. Because trust me, if you keep pushing until you're run down, your body will find a way to let you know. It'll stop you in your tracks. So don't wait until it's too late. Now you might be saying, but I don't have time to work out. I don't have time to rest. I've got too much to do. I get it. We all feel busy. But let me tell you something, making time for your health will pay off tenfold. You've got to be intentional. You've got to carve out time, even if it's just 20 minutes a day to go for a walk or to stretch or to get some fresh air. Those small moments add up. They give you the energy, the focus, and the drive to keep going. If you don't take care of yourself, nothing else will matter in the long run. You'll burn out. You'll get sick. You'll hit a wall. And trust me, it's a lot harder to get back up than if you'd just taken care of yourself in the first place. Look at Oprah. She's a billionaire, a media mogul, one of the most successful women in the world. But what's her secret? One of the things she always talks about is the importance of self-care. She gets her rest. She takes time to nourish her body. She's always learning, always improving. But she's also very intentional about her mental and physical health. That's why she's been able to keep going for decades. It's why she's able to perform at such a high level for so long. She understands that to give to the world, she first has to give to herself. Your health isn't just about looking good, it's about feeling good, being able to show up every day with the energy and the mindset you need to crush your goals. It's about making sure you have the physical and mental strength to weather the storms, to stay strong in the face of adversity, to keep going when the going gets tough. So take care of yourself. Make it a priority. You owe it to yourself and you owe it to the people who depend on you. So right now, take a moment and think about your health. Are you doing what you need to do to take care of yourself? Are you feeding your body the right things? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you doing what you need to recharge your mind? Because if you're not, it's time to make a change. Your health is the foundation of everything. Without it, you won't be able to perform at your best. So make that commitment to yourself today. Take care of your mind. Take care of your body. Everything else will follow. Number 5, gratitude. It's a simple word, but it's one that can change your entire life. It's easy to get caught up in what you don't have, what you think you're missing, or what's not going the way you want it. We all do it. We look around at what others have, what they've achieved, and sometimes we feel like we're falling behind. But here's the truth, focusing on what you lack will never get you closer to where you want to be. It will never make you feel fulfilled, never make you feel successful, never give you the peace you're searching for. But if you can shift your focus, if you can start appreciating what you already have, the game changes. Gratitude isn't just a feeling. It's a mindset. It's a choice you make every single day. The difference between someone who's constantly unhappy, always searching for something more, and someone who's at peace, who's truly enjoying the journey, is their ability to focus on what they already have, not what they're missing. And let me tell you, the moment you can shift that focus, you unlock a power within yourself. You begin to see the world differently. You begin to appreciate the present. You stop living in the past or obsessing over the future, and you start living in the now, appreciating the beauty of where you are. Think about someone like Steve Harvey. The man went from living in his car to becoming a multi-millionaire, a TV host, and a world-renowned comedian. But let me tell you, he didn't get there by focusing on what he didn't have. He didn't get there by complaining about the cards he was dealt. He got there by being grateful for the little things, by appreciating every moment, by focusing on what he could do with what he had, not on what he lacked. He made the most out of every opportunity, no matter how small. That's how he turned his life around. He understood that no matter how tough things got, no matter how hard the road ahead seemed, there was always something to be grateful for. And it was that mindset, that ability to focus on what he had, that propelled him forward. And take someone like Maya Angelou. This woman faced more obstacles than most people could even imagine: poverty, racism, abuse. Yet through it all, she kept a spirit of gratitude. Maya often spoke about the importance of finding something to be thankful for, even in the hardest of times. She could have focused on what was wrong, on all the things she didn't have, on the injustices she faced. But instead, she focused on the beauty around her. She appreciated the power of her voice, the love of her family, the opportunity to inspire others. She found joy in the small victories, in the simple moments. And it's that gratitude, that deep appreciation for life, that made her words and her wisdom resonate with millions. Gratitude is a game changer. It changes your perspective, changes your attitude, and changes your attitude. But here's the thing: gratitude isn't just about saying thank you when things go well. It's about being thankful even when life doesn't seem to be going your way. It's about finding a way to appreciate the struggles, the challenges, the moments that make you want to quit. Because it's in those moments that growth happens. It's in those moments that you find your strength. And let me tell you, you'll never grow if you're always focused on what's wrong. You have to learn to be grateful for the lessons, for the experiences that shape you even when they're painful. I want you to think about your journey for a second. Think about where you started and where you are now. I know there were hard times. I know there were moments when you felt like giving up. But I want you to take a step back and really look at how far you've come. Look at what you've achieved, the strength you've built, the lessons you've learned. You've made it through every storm. You're still here. And that's something to be grateful for. There are people out there who would trade places with you in a heartbeat. There are people out there who would love to have the opportunities you have, the life you built, the potential that's waiting for you. Yet so many of us get caught up in what we don't have, in what's not going our way. We get so focused on what's missing that we forget to appreciate what we've already been blessed with. You have to stop for a moment and truly realize how much you've been given. When you focus on the good, when you focus on what's working, it shifts your energy. It shifts your outlook. And that's when you begin to see more opportunities, more blessings, more things to be grateful for. Think about the power of gratitude in your relationships. How many times have you found yourself frustrated with the people around you, wishing they were different or complaining about what they're not doing for you? But have you ever stopped to think about the things they do bring to your life? Have you ever taken a moment to appreciate the love, the support, the loyalty? Too often we focus on the things that bother us, the things that we wish were different. But when you shift that focus, when you start appreciating the people who are showing up for you, it transforms the way you interact with them. You begin to bring out the best in them, just as they bring out the best in you. I want you to understand that the present moment is all we truly have. The past is gone. The future is uncertain. But right now, this moment is a gift. It's a chance to live fully, to appreciate what's around you, to be thankful for the people in your life, for the opportunities you have, for your health, for your time. When you start seeing life through the lens of gratitude, everything changes. You realize that you have everything you need right in front of you. And when you focus on what you have, you'll start seeing doors open, you'll start seeing more blessings, and you'll start feeling a sense of peace that you've never felt before. So, take a moment. Right now, look around you. Look at the things that you've been blessed with, no matter how small they may seem. Appreciate the life you're living, the progress you've made, the strength you've gained. When you change your mindset, when you choose gratitude every single day, everything else will begin to fall into place. The key to living a fulfilled life isn't in chasing more or always wanting more. It's in appreciating what you have right here, right now. So choose gratitude. It will transform everything. Number 6, relationships. Let me tell you something about relationships. They are everything. At the end of the day, when all the success, the achievements, and the accolades are long gone, the only thing that's going to matter are the people you've invested in, the ones who've been there with you through thick and thin. You see, we live in a world that's obsessed with success, obsessed with the hustle, the grind, and getting to the top. But here's the truth. You cannot get to the top alone. You can't achieve real greatness without the right people beside you. And that's why relationships, the connections you build with others, are so important. Too often, we focus on the superficial things, the cars, the houses, the material success. And while there's nothing wrong with striving for those things, none of it means a thing if you don't have the people in your life who matter. You can have all the wealth in the world, but if you're isolated, if you're surrounded by the wrong people, you'll never truly feel fulfilled. You'll never experience the kind of joy that comes from true connection. Take a moment and think about the people who've had an impact on your life. I'm talking about the ones who've been there for you, the ones who supported you when no one else would, the ones who believed in you when you couldn't believe in yourself. Maybe it's your family, your friends, a mentor, or even someone who's walked into your life for a short time, but left a lasting impact. You know who they are. And let me tell you, those people are priceless. They're the ones who make life worth living. They're the ones who will lift you up when you fall, who will push you when you want to quit, and who will be right there beside you, cheering you on when you reach that next level. But here's the thing, relationships are a two-way street. You can't just expect people to be there for you without investing in them first. You can't expect to have strong connections if you're not willing to put in the work. And I'm not just talking about the big moments. I'm talking about showing up for the small ones too. You've got to be intentional. It's about picking up the phone when someone needs to talk, even if you're busy. It's about listening, really listening when someone is pouring their heart out. It's about being present, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. It's about being there for the people who matter most, even when life gets tough, even when things aren't going your way. The truth is, people won't remember how much money you made or how successful you were. They'll remember how you made them feel. They'll remember if you showed up when they needed you, if you cared enough to invest your time and energy into the relationship. Look at someone like Tyler Perry. The man has built an empire, no doubt about that. He's one of the most successful filmmakers and playwrights in the world. But the thing about Tyler is, he didn't get there alone. He talks all the time about the importance of relationships in his journey. He talks about how he built his empire on the foundation of loyalty, trust, and love. He invested in people, in his family, in his friends, and in his team. He surrounded himself with the right people, people who believed in him, people who encouraged him, and people who challenged him. And because of that, when things got tough, when the road ahead seemed impossible, he had a support system that carried him through. He understood that no amount of success, no amount of wealth could ever replace the value of the people who stood by his side. And that's why he's been able to keep going, even through the toughest times. He didn't build that empire alone. He built it with people. Now think about someone like Nelson Mandela. This man spent 27 years in prison. 27 years. And yet when he walked out of that prison, he didn't hold on to hate. He didn't try to take revenge. Instead, he focused on building relationships, on uniting people, on bringing his country together. He knew that true change, real progress, could only happen if people came together. He invested in others, in the people who shared his vision of equality, of justice, of freedom. And through his relationships, through the connections he made, he changed the world. He understood the power of connection, the power of working together, and the power of lifting each other up. He knew that no matter how strong you are, no matter how determined you are, you need the right people around you. You need a community, a team, a support system that believes in your vision and is willing to help you get there. But it's not just about the people who've helped you along the way. It's also about the people you can help. You've got a responsibility to build up the people around you. You've got to be the one who invests in others, who takes the time to mentor, to support, to guide. And it's not always about big gestures. It's the small things. It's asking someone how they're doing, checking in, offering a word of encouragement, giving them a chance when others have overlooked them. The energy you put into others will come back to you in ways you can't even imagine. The connections you build, the relationships you nurture, they will carry you through the toughest times. Take a moment to look at your own life. Who are the people who matter most to you? Who are the ones who've been there for you, who've revealed in you, who've been your rock when everything else was crumbling? You can't take those people for granted. You've got to invest in them. Show them you appreciate them. Tell them you love them. Spend time with them. Make memories with them. Because the truth is, time is the most valuable thing you have. You can always make more money, but you can never get back the time you've lost. Don't wait until it's too late. Don't wait until you've let the relationships slip away. Invest in the people who matter. Build strong connections, because those connections, those relationships, will be the foundation of everything you do. You can't do it alone. No one ever achieves greatness alone. It's the people you surround yourself with that will lift you up, that will help you push through the toughest of times. So invest in your relationships. Build them. Nurture them. Appreciate them. Because when everything else fades away, it's the people you've built relationships with that will be there. And those are the people who will help you reach heights you never thought possible. Number 7, vision. Now, I'm talking about more than just a dream. I'm talking about the clarity, the focus, the deep understanding of where you want to go, what you want to achieve, and why it matters. When you have vision, it's like you've got a light shining ahead of you, guiding you through the darkness. It gives you purpose. It keeps you grounded when the world around you is shifting. Vision isn't just about having a goal. It's about having a reason to push forward, even when the obstacles seem insurmountable. Listen, life's going to throw everything it can at you. There are going to be days when you're knocked down, when you feel like quitting, when you wonder if it's all worth it. But when you have a clear vision of what you're working toward, when you know deep in your soul why you're doing this, it's that vision that will pull you up, that will keep you going. It's what gets you out of bed in the morning when the world's trying to pull you back to sleep. It's what keeps you going when the road gets tough, when people doubt you, when the voice inside your head tells you to quit. Think about someone like Michael Jordan. The man is a legend, not just because of his talent, but because of his unshakable vision. He didn't just want to be a basketball player. No, Michael Jordan had a vision to be the greatest of all time. And every decision, every sacrifice, every hour he spent practicing was driven by that vision. When everyone else was sleeping, Jordan was working. When others were taking breaks, he was pushing himself beyond limits. And it wasn't always easy. He faced setbacks. He faced failure. He even got cut from his high school basketball team. But none of that stopped him. His vision kept him on track. It was the clarity of his goal, the understanding of what he was capable of, that guided him through every challenge he faced. He knew where he was going, and he wasn't going to let anything or anyone get in the way of that. Now, I'm not telling you it's going to be easy. That's not what vision is about. Vision isn't about walking a smooth path. If that's what you're looking for, you're in the wrong game. Vision is about resilience. It's about having the mental toughness to keep moving forward, no matter what's happening around you. Look at someone like Oprah. She didn't get to where she is by luck or coincidence. She had a vision for her life that was so clear, so powerful that nothing could stop her. From growing up in poverty, facing abuse, and struggling in her career, Oprah faced challenge after challenge, but her vision was always clear. She knew she was destined for greatness. She knew that she had a message to share with the world, and that vision pushed her to keep going when everyone else doubted her. Even when she was told she didn't have the looks for TV or the experience, she kept that vision alive. It was the fire that burned within her, guiding her through the darkest moments, through the harshest criticism. And look where it got her. Not just a success story, but a story of perseverance, of a woman who made her own path because she refused to lose sight of her vision. Your vision is your blueprint. It's your map to the future. And let me tell you, if you don't have a map, you're just wandering. You'll end up going in circles, wasting time, wasting energy. But when you've got a vision, you know where you're headed. You know the direction you need to go. And even if you hit a detour, you know you're still on the right path. But here's the thing, you can't just have a vision. You have to believe in it. You have to hold on to it tightly, like it's the most important thing in the world. You have to live it, breathe it, and let it consume you in the best way possible. If you don't believe in your own vision, if you're not willing to put in the work, how do you expect anyone else to believe in it? Look at someone like Elon Musk. This guy's out here doing things that seem impossible, launching rockets into space, developing electric cars that are changing the game. You think that happened overnight? You think he just woke up one day and decided to start SpaceX? No. It took years of failure, years of people doubting him, years of people telling him it couldn't be done. But Elon Musk didn't back down. He had a clear vision of what he wanted to create. He saw a future where humanity could live on multiple planets, where clean energy was the norm. And he was willing to take risks, to challenge the status quo, to invest everything he had into that vision. And now look at him. He's changing the world because he had a vision that was so clear, so undeniable, that he made the impossible happen. Now, let's talk about you. What's your vision? What do you want to achieve? What's that thing that wakes you up in the morning and keeps you going throughout the day? You have to know it. You have to own it. Because without a vision, you're just going through the motions. You're reacting to life, not leading it. But when you have a vision, when you can see where you're going, you're no longer just surviving, you're thriving. You're creating the life you want. You're making moves, pushing forward, and nothing can stop you. But here's where the rubber meets the road. Having a vision isn't enough. You need a plan, a clear, actionable plan to get you there. A vision without a plan is just a dream. And dreams are nice, but they're not going to get you anywhere. You need to map out how you're going to get to where you want to go. Break it down. Every day, every week, every month, what are you doing to move closer to your vision? If you're not taking action, if you're not consistently working toward that goal, then that vision will stay just that, a dream. Let's talk about the power of persistence. I know you're going to hit roadblocks. I know there are going to be times when it feels like you're not making any progress, when things aren't going your way, when it seems like the whole world is against you. But that's when your vision becomes most important. Because when things get tough, when the challenges seem too big, that vision will be the thing that keeps you going. It will remind you that you're on the right path. It will keep your feet moving even when you want to stop. Your vision is your light in the darkness. It's your compass when you feel lost. When you keep your vision clear, when you hold on to it tightly, it will guide you through every storm. So don't lose sight of it. Keep it front and center. Let it drive you. Let it fuel your determination. Because when the challenges come, and they will come, your vision will be the one thing that keeps you moving forward. So get clear on what you want. Get clear on where you're going. And never ever let go of that vision, because that's the key to unlocking everything you're capable of. Keep it clear, keep it strong, and let it guide you through every single challenge. So here's the deal, these 7 things. They're not going to magically appear in your life. They won't just fall into your lap. You've got to go out there and make them happen. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. It's not going to be easy. The road ahead is going to be tough. There will be days when you want to quit, when it feels like the whole world is against you, when every ounce of energy feels like it's been drained from you. But that's when you've got to dig deep. That's when you've got to remind yourself why you started. You see, success isn't about having all the answers. It's not about knowing exactly how you're going to get there. It's about showing up every single day, even when you don't feel like it. It's about pushing forward, even when the world around you is trying to knock you back. If you wait for the perfect moment, if you wait for everything to line up, you're going to be waiting forever. Life doesn't wait for you to be ready. Life doesn't care if you feel like you can't handle it. You've got to take action, and you've got to do it now. You've got to commit to doing the work, even when it feels like you're making no progress. Even when the results aren't coming fast enough. Think about someone like Kobe Bryant. He didn't wake up one day and decide he was going to be the greatest basketball player to ever play the game. That was a decision he made every single day, no matter how tired he was, no matter how much pain he was in. When the game was over, when the stadium was empty, Kobe was still in the gym putting in work. He was still pushing himself to get better. Why? Because he understood that greatness doesn't come without sacrifice. He understood that if you want to achieve something extraordinary, you've got to be willing to work harder than anyone else. And that kind of work doesn't happen in the moments when it's easy. It happens in the moments when you want to quit, but you push through anyway. It happens when everyone else is resting, but you're still grinding. Now I'm asking you the same thing. Are you ready to put in the work? Are you ready to step up and take control of your life, of your future? Because let me tell you something. The only thing standing between where you are now and where you want to be is you. Nobody else. Not your circumstances, not the people around you, not the challenges you're facing. It's you and your decision to keep going, to keep working, to keep fighting for what you want. The difference between the person who makes it and the person who doesn't is simple. They're the ones who don't quit. The ones who show up when it's hard, who do the work even when they don't see immediate results. Look at someone like Serena Williams. Do you think she became a champion by just showing up to practice when it was convenient? No. She faced injury, she faced doubt, she faced people telling her she was finished. But she kept working, kept training, kept believing in herself. She didn't let the setbacks define her. She used them as fuel. She knew that in order to get to the next level, she had to outwork everyone. She had to push through the pain, through the doubt, through the criticism. And guess what? That's exactly what she did, time and time again. That's why she's one of the greatest athletes to ever step foot on a tennis court. She showed up every single day, And now I'm asking you to do the same. Don't look around and wait for someone else to give you the green light. Don't wait for permission. You've got everything you need inside you to succeed. You've got the ability to create the life you want, to achieve the goals you've set. But you've got to believe that. You've got to believe that you're capable of more than you've been given. You've got to take ownership of your future and realize that no one else is responsible for your success. You are. You've got to take control of your story and stop letting fear or doubt dictate your path. There will be setbacks. There will be times when you fall flat on your face. There will be times when it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. But those are the moments that define you. Those are the moments that build your character, that shape who you are and who you're becoming. You've got to keep showing up when it's hard. You've got to keep pushing through when the obstacles seem insurmountable. Because when you do, that's when you prove to yourself that nothing can stop you. That's when you look back and say, I did that. I didn't quit. I made it happen. So ask yourself, what are you willing to do today that will get you closer to your vision? What is that next step you can take, no matter how small, to move forward? I'm telling you, if you start today, right now, you're already ahead of the person who's waiting for the perfect moment, who's waiting for everything to line up just right. There is no perfect moment. The only moment that matters is this one, right now. Get out of your own way. Make the decision to take action. Make the decision to stop playing small. Step up and put in the work, day in and day out. Because in the end, the only thing standing between you and your dreams is the choice to keep going. And trust me, you've got everything inside you to make it happen. Now, let's get to work.